Alrighty, guys, so it's about 10 a.m. on the East Coast right now, and the markets are absolutely ripping. The S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, Russell, all these are up. The VIX is down, so we got to break down what's going on in these markets today, plus what I'm looking at in terms of stocks. We'll break down some earnings as well, so sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, and let's just dive into the video, guys. So we have the S&P 500 up 1.2% right now. The Russell's up 0.6%. The NASDAQ is up over 2.3%. As we have the Dow up, let's see here, Dow's up about 0.5%. So what we're noticing here is, and again, we're going to dive into some earnings, stocks, all that good stuff in this video. What we're noticing on SPY is we're getting buying pressure right around 390 to about 392 this morning. That is good. SPY's up over or roughly about $5 as I'm filming this. That's a good sign. And on top of that, and mind you, we're looking at the 4-hour chart here, we're getting buying pressure above the 50 moving average as well, and we're well above about $12 actually above the 180 moving average as I'm filming this video. So that's a good sign. Bulls are still in charge here in the very short term on SPY, and same thing here on Triple Q. Now that we're getting a lot of buying pressure this morning, again, Triple Q's up 2.5% almost. We are now breaking out of the 50 SMA, which we were under that yesterday during yesterday's sell-off, and now we're back over the highs from the end of June, also from the early days of July, being about 295. So this is a very good sign, and mind you, Triple Q's now over $300 as well. This is very good in my eyes for the bulls, right? And when it comes down to crude oil, let's pull that up and see what's going on. Crude oil is right around 95 a barrel still, and this has been a support level for months. I've talked about that very, many times, many times on YouTube, on Patreon. So let's dive over. We might as well just dive straight into, now that we broke down the indexes very quickly, SPY and Triple Q, we might as well just dive into these individual stocks, because we had Shopify, Boeing, Spotify, Kraft Heinz report this morning, and a lot of other companies that didn't report. They're up a ton so far today. PayPal's up 8%, another one of my investments. Shopify is moving up, and they just reported, so we might as well talk about them to start off the individual stock portion of this video. Shopify's up 5.5% as I'm filming this, and they reported earnings this morning. And the crazy thing is, guys, look at the share price. The share price right now is $33 a share, and earlier in the morning it was under 29. It got to $28.99 after this earnings report. So talk about a V-shaped recovery on Shopify. It was at $33, dumped to $29. That was a 10%, actually a 12% drop, and now it's ripping past that pre-market high. This is crazy. So they ended up doing, and mind you, these earnings were not good at all. They ended up doing adjusted EPS of -3 cents, so they lost money on the quarter, versus the 3-cent estimate. So they were expected to be profitable, lost money on the quarter, and revenue was just awful. $1.29 billion in revenue versus $1.71 billion estimated. So they missed revenue by millions, guys, tens of millions of dollars, and they missed EPS, and somehow, some way, the stock is up over 6%. That is pretty crazy. Let's see here. Did we get guidance? They see adjusted operating, this is Q4. They see adjusted operating loss in Q4 significantly, smaller than in Q3. Wow, that's pretty good. So I guess that, in other words, is telling us maybe the worst is behind them for Shopify. Maybe not. I don't know. But forward looking, that is a good sign. And what do people, investors, traders, whatever, what do they like to see? They like to see upbeat guidance. They like to see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. In this case, in Shopify's case, which has been getting destroyed like no other stock, no other company in this market. This thing is down a lot, 90%. I mean, how much is it down at this point? Maybe not 90%, 83%, pretty dang close. So the fact that we're getting some decent news there, they see full year merchant solutions revenue growth more than double that of subscription solutions growth. They see number of new merchants joining the platform in the second half higher than the first half. That is pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good reason why Shopify could be running right now, considering they double missed on the quarter and they missed revenue by a huge margin. I mean, that is abysmal, guys. 1.29 billion revenue versus 1.71 billion estimated. So let's go to the next one. You guys remember Boeing? We recently talked about it. This thing, it's been in the gutter. We all know that. The stock was 230. It hit about 113 recently. That is a drop of over 50%. And it's been reversing ever so slightly lately. It's been moving above these moving averages, I'd say, since the end of July, or rather end of June. So about a month ago is when this started occurring, and now we have a golden cross, all that good stuff. And remember, we talked about Boeing a couple of days ago. They have 2,500 employees set to go on strike in the beginning of August. Go look into that, guys. It's a whole fiasco. We're not going to dive into that in this video. We talked about it on YouTube a couple of videos ago. So let's talk about what they did. They did 37 cents in the red of EPS. So they ended up losing money on the quarter and missing the estimate. Revenue came in at $16.68 billion versus $17.55 billion estimated. So that is a double miss for Boeing. And commercial airplane revenue came in at $6.22 billion, right in line with the estimate and a year ago, which I guess is good. They did about $6.02 billion in commercial airplane revenue. So that is up year over year, but barely. We're talking $0.2 billion is what it's up year over year, from 6.02 to 6.22 billion. So double miss for Boeing. They barely beat on commercial airplane revenue, and the stock is up 3%. The stock is up 3% on the day thus far, guys, and that makes me ask the question. It begs the question, did they get good guidance or receive good guidance? Wait a second. CPI Aerostructures receives $3.2 million order from Boeing. Okay, that's probably nothing. $3.2 million, that is literally nothing for Boeing. Profit falls as plane maker awaits approval to deliver Dreamliners, yada, yada, yada. Overall, guys, listen, the stock market is a wild place. It's like the wild, wild west right now. It's been that. And we're seeing crazy things happen. Companies double miss. Their earnings are horrible, and the stocks are moving. Companies that do well, earnings are great, stocks are going down. I mean, this shit, I was about to cuss right there, guys. Excuse me for that. This stuff doesn't make sense at the end of the day. So we just got to roll with the punches. And based on the technicals here, the charts, the hardcore price action, what we're seeing right here, Boeing is slowly starting to break. We might have a little bit of a cup and handle forming. We shall see. But if this thing takes out 163, although it doesn't make much sense based on the earnings, it might be going higher. It could start breaking out higher, technically speaking. So we also had Spotify this morning, SPOT. Spotify did, and mind you, this company is based out of, Sweden or Switzerland or one of those freaking countries. I forget. But they're in euros. They did $2.86 billion euros on EPS of negative 85 cents, again in euros, and gross margin came in at 24.6% as premium subscribers rose 14% year over year, not too bad, to 188 million subscribers. And the stock is going crazy. The stock's up 16% as I'm making this video. It is at a multi-month high. The last time Spotify was above $120 was back in the end of, when was this? The end of April, yeah. So we're talking 3.5, almost 4 months ago. Spotify was last at $120, so they're ripping. I'm going to set my alert. I'm not completely convinced they're out of the woods yet, but I'm going to set my alert at 125 in the meantime to see what they end up doing at that point. Mark is at or above $125 a share. Let's see if they provided any guidance. It looks like user growth and solid forecast boosted the stock according to Barron's here. Let's see. Do they have monthly? Oh, look at that. Q2 monthly active users, 433 million versus 365 a year ago. The FactSet estimate was 428.2 million, so that's better than expected. And they see Q3 rather, monthly active users of 450 million versus the FactSet estimate of 443.9 million users. So not too bad, guys, not too bad for Spotify here. Quickly just looking at the numbers on the live news tab here on ThinkOrSwim. Let's run to the next one, which I'm not sure. Does Warren Buffett still own this? He might still own this. I don't know. Kraft Heinz. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you know if he still owns this or not. But Kraft Heinz right now is down 8%. They did 70 cents EPS versus 68 cents estimated on revenue, 6.55 billion versus 6.39 billion estimated. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. Double beat for Kraft Heinz, and the stock's down over 8%. It's got to be due to something under the hood here that we might not see by just looking at the live news tab. I might have to look deeper into the report, but this stuff is crazy. They double beat, they're down. While Shopify and Boeing, they double miss and they're up. It's crazy how this stuff works, right? And look at that. They raised their 2022 organic sales growth outlook to high single digit from mid-single digit, and they still freaking went, or they're still going down, which is wild. Maybe year over year, year over year they're not doing that well. Sales a year ago were 6.62 billion. They just did 6.55 billion. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe that's a reason why the comparables from a year ago, they're horrible. Well, not horrible, but they're down. Q2 adjusted EPS 70 cents this quarter versus 78 cents a year ago's quarter. All right, so maybe that's why they're selling off, but it's a pretty drastic sell-off, I guess. I'd say. I mean, Kraft Heinz Company declared a regular quarterly dividend of 40 cents a share, which it looks like they've been paying that the past couple of quarters at least. It seems like they haven't been upping the dividend, but as long as they've been paying it, I guess that's good. Now, if they cut the dividend, that would be bad, which I do believe they did about 2 years ago. Not really recently, but I think about 2-3 years ago they might have slashed the dividend. Let me double check here. I could probably see it on the 3-year tab. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let me double check, guys. I might be wrong on that. Either way, their dividend's been pretty flat for the past, it looks like 3 years, 40 cents, every quarter. So they're not upping it. Looks like at least in the past 3 years, they haven't been cutting it. So if you like a dividend-paying company, maybe a value play, Kraft Heinz could be down your alley. I'm not telling you to go buy it. All I'm saying is to go look a little bit into it. For me, it's not my cup of tea. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not investing in Kraft Heinz. But if you like dividend payers, you want a value play, potentially Kraft Heinz could be for you. So let's run through the watch list here quickly. Oh, wow. We're about 13 minutes in. We are rocking and rolling in this video, guys. PayPal's up on the day, 8%. We have Shopify up, like I said. Now it's up 7.7%. Jeez Louise, guys. Google, my biggest position, which go watch my last night video on YouTube. I might upload this onto YouTube as well. I haven't decided because I do want to cover these earnings to the broader audience as well. Google, which we covered yesterday, this is up almost 6% on the day thus far. These stocks are moving. After market tomorrow, we have Apple, which is up 2%. We also have Amazon. What else? What's the other one? When's Meta reporting? Is that today? Meta might be today. Yeah, Meta's today. It's got to be. Let me double check. Yeah, Meta's today after the bell. So we have a lot going on, guys. Big tech. Microsoft reported yesterday. This stock is up 5% on the day. We have AMD. So, I mean, this is, it looks like we're looking pretty good. But you got to realize, later today, the Fed press conference, the Fed meeting. It started yesterday. It's going into today. And we have the GDP number tomorrow, guys. We're going to break all this down in my video later on today. But for now, you guys, you got to enjoy the green and realize it can turn red quickly. We have to wait and see what happens later today. Make sure to subscribe. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. Typically, I make these morning videos for Patreon members only, but in this case, I'm going to upload it onto YouTube. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure to subscribe for the later videos. Drop me a comment. Feel free to check out my Patreon. That's linked down below. And don't forget to get your 10 stocks from Moomoo with a $100 deposit and your 6 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. All those details are linked down below. And with that being said, yes, guys, I have a Starbucks. Cheers. Heck yeah, we like Starbucks sometimes too. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.